What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on the Space Engineers Inspiration series. We're starting things off today with the Jaculus Destroyer. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Jaculus? It could go a lot of different ways. But yeah, this is actually an interesting build. Particularly, not only because it's cool, but it's actually also sort of a remake, if you will. The original was done by Lord Commissar? Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I don't know if that's right or not. I believe, I am not 100% on this, so please don't quote me on it, but I believe they also used to go by Dark Lord, I think? I think that's the same builder? I'm not sure. Anyways, this is not done by them, but the original ship design was. But the original was modded, and this one is not, which is already kind of a little bit interesting, but they also added, this new build also adds, I believe, these rotor cannons, which is not something that was typical of the original either. And these are particularly intriguing to me because I don't see where the cannon is. These are rotors. So, where does the missile thing come from? I'm confused, actually, on this. Like, I really don't see any guns. Where are the guns? Am I just really missing something here? I think I'm really missing something. Because I believe they're functional. I think they work. I don't think they're just decoration. I don't know how these fire. Interesting. Well, this should be intriguing. I'm not really sure how those work. There does appear to be a remote block on the back of them to control them. I'm curious about these guns. I'm curious about this, because they do, the description, everything does look like it functions, so there's that. But this was designed, I believe, to be a fast, long-range strike vessel. We can see here, this one has its own little, like, custom-made, torpedo type thing there. That's always fun. Let's see. So yeah, there are a couple of things that are listed in the description in terms of mods that are recommended. I did not include those. Most of them were stuff like functions, not really blocks and things. It was stuff like unlimited flight speed. What the heck? Okay, so gravity is facing down here. That's an interesting... Hello? 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 Let me in? Thank you. I hate auto airlocks. I really think, if nothing else, before Keen actually says we're done with the game, they need to include a single block airlock. That needs to happen, kind of thing. But I don't particularly think it would be all that difficult either, because you'd need the model, obviously, but all the functionality of vents and all that stuff's already there. You would just have to have the door block have a vent port type thing and plug it into a connection system or something. It should work fairly simply. Anyways, so we have a decently cool gravity walk there. Alright, there's too much. Oh! This is yet... Whoa! Okay! That was unexpected. Alright, note to self, don't stand right in the doorway when facing space. It ends badly. I really don't like auto doors. Alright, so where are we going here? We've got cargo containers here. I believe this is the washroom, so this is probably sinks, I imagine. That's just a door. I don't remember. I might have actually shown the original build to this a long time ago, because I've done a lot of Lord Commissar's stuff. if my memory serves. So I'm guessing that since the original was a modded build, the bathrooms and stuff like that were probably done with mods originally. Would be my assumption. So we have a medical room here with yet another door. Where do you go? The gravity in here is pretty cool, but it definitely takes some getting used to. Engineering, especially this kind of stuff where you're walking like sideways. Ooh, okay. So there's that. Engineering, we've got a gravity generator that's probably doing a ton of work. We've got our oxygen tanks down here. That looks like to be the rest of the accessible engineering part. I'll give credit where credit's due, though. The gravity on here, you feel a little weird. You feel like you're walking sideways, but it actually works pretty well. Med bay. Wait, why is that upside down? That's weird. I wonder why the sign isn't... I don't know. I'm confused on that one. Alright, so let's go up here. We have habitation. So this is all of our bunks and etc. and so on. I got to admit that I really picked this build because of the exterior. I did not think the gravitational layout of the interior would be as intriguing as it is to me, but it really is. It's kind of fascinating how they have this set up, that everything's like vertical on the or horizontal on the inside. It's almost as if it was designed like a rocket type ship, like what we actually have in NASA and stuff like that, where they stand them straight up type of thing. It almost reminds me of something like that. So this is the mess hall, looks like. I'm assuming this is kind of a stove type setup. I love this kind of stuff, by the way. This is really cool when people find ways to convert vanilla blocks and make them into something else. I think that's a lot of fun. It's something that I personally wish I was better at. So I'm always impressed when people do cool stuff with that type of thing. Another gravity generator. Gosh, freaking hey, man. These doors keep flinging me everywhere. Alright, this looks like the actual bridge, and I'm not just saying that because I don't see another door anywhere. Okay, I'm kind of saying it because of that. Okay. So, now we're getting down to probably finding out how this stuff works. Now, the description is actually very descriptive in terms of it lays all these hotbars out in great detail. I glanced over them. I didn't read them all in thorough whatever. Really thoroughly. So we have the camera for the main gun, program for rotor guns, a second program for rotor guns. Again, the description explains these a little bit better of what these do. Weapons, main gun rotors are off at the moment. Drill pistons, drills, jump drives. Timer for combat, power, power saving, stealth power, remote control for forward turret and for aft turret. Drive reactor. Port connector. Okay, sorry about that. I actually had a bit of background noise going on that I didn't want to get into the recording, but it also gave me a chance to fiddle fart around with this stuff here. And it's really, really cool. So let's see if we can get over here. So we have the remote blocks for the forward and the aft. I don't know, I guess the aft is just the one right behind it? Yeah, okay. So we have the control. I don't know what the whole seat remote with higher priorities already occupied thing is doing. I'm not sure what that's for, but excuse me. As you can see, we have control of the turret now. And with this, we have the different cameras. These are actually, I feel like it wouldn't have really hurt that much to rename them here, but it is in the description that these are basically the different fire rates. And then this will lock it from moving. I don't know what the camera view here is. Oh, this is like a crosshair type look. This is more like down the barrel. I personally like this look, but this is a cool one as well. So if we're in this, what this is actually doing, I did not know this was a thing, but it's like my new favorite cannon of all time. This is awesome. what it's doing is this rotor at the very end is creating a rotor head, detaching it, I believe, I'm speculating, but detaching it, and then there's some kind of gravitational or something. I'm not really sure how they're getting it to fly forward, but it's essentially firing rotor heads at things. It's awesome. So, not only is it actually kind of sound like a cannon, like doo, doo, but you get this cool, like, shell kind of thing. Like, I love this. This is literally, like, my new favorite weapon on this game. I don't know why I'm getting explodey things. There shouldn't be any block damage. I'm not sure what those sparks were coming from. But you can see this is so much fun. And it even has that little like boing, 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 like a cannon shell. This is awesome. So the other thing that you can see is that's single fire. There's like a multi-round burst, which is just amazing. Like that just seems really cool. And then there's essentially full auto, which that's utter insanity. I gotta see how this works from this view. Oh, that's so much fun. That is way too much fun. So many rounds. That's crazy. So yeah, that's essentially my new favorite weapon of all time. Let's see. And if we lock this in place, we can't go anywhere. Ooh. I wonder what that does, actually. So we can move the ship. Oop, oop, oop. Nope. Stop that. Okay. Not sure what that was about. That was interesting. Alright, so if we lock this... So it does kind of move the ship a little bit. I don't know why the thing went all topsy-turvy. Anyways, so yeah, I love the cannons on this thing. Oh wow, this moves really, really good. Alright, so that's going to do it for this one. Let's move on to the next one. Alrighty, so next up we have the Magellan. There's a lot more to that title, but that's all I remembered. This is predominantly an exploration ship, I believe. And I do apologize if the last one was cut short a little bit, if you were looking forward to seeing more of it fly. It did fly very well. Again, I had some background noise, and so I wanted to kind of cut that out before it got real infectious into the video. But anyways, it moved very well. I was very impressed with it. So this ship, though, it actually looks a bit more like a battleship kind of thing. I love this cockpit, this bridge window area. This is really freaking cool to me. I love that design. But yeah, when I first saw it, it looked more like it's laid out like a battleship. You got the big keel in the front. I don't think I'm using that properly. I think the keel's the bottom ridge frame. I don't know. Is any of you naval ship construction experts out there that just so happen to be watching this for unknown reasons? I can't remember. I think the keel is the middle support beam that goes all the way through the middle, but I can't remember if it's only on the bottom or... Anyways, but you've got this cool, like, battleship looking front, so I expected it to be more of, like, a cruiser or a battleship, but it's actually more of an exploration vessel. It does have some turrets on it for self-defense, but, you know, they're only going to go so far if you're up against... cannot talk today. Up against an actual, like, dreadnought type of ship. So, actually, this is a little deceptive. This is a glass. That's pretty cool. I like that. Alright. So, conveniently for moi, there are multiple doors. There's one here. There's one on the side. They're all over the place. So, thank you to the builder for making it very easy for me. Ooh, now I really like this. This is like a double bridge that, ooh, I love this. I really like this. Alright, so when you get in here, this is the actual, like, flight seat kind of thing. Ooh, and it's got a blast shield and everything. I like this setup. I really like this. So this is kind of like an ultra emergency bridge. You've got cargo containers, vents, cryopods, blast shields. This is like the pilot could sustain himself or herself for multiple hours on end kind of thing. So that's really, really cool. So far, out of everything, that's what I'm most impressed with is this bridge design. I like the exterior look. It's got this cool, like, sunk-in, kind of sleek look. But I really like that then when you come inside here, you get this cool, like, recessed secondary combat bridge type of thing. That's really cool. Alright. I'm still getting this weird bug thing, too, where I can't get the highlights to come up for half a nothing. In my last episode, it was suggested that it's possible because there's a projector overlaying the ship's schematics for repair. So if any part of the ship gets damaged, it could be repaired. I don't know, but I can't get like anything to highlight. I really think it's probably just a bug. That's something in the... I don't know. But it's definitely fiddly. Definitely finicky. So, let's see. We can go this way, we can go this way. This is the side airlock that we saw. What goes this way? Yeah, see, this lights... well, it did. I was gonna say, see, that lights up okay, and then it just immediately went away. I can't push any of these buttons, though, because I can't highlight anything. It's really annoying, actually. Because even... I showed this in the last episode, but just in case for anybody who did not see it for some reason, my crosshair is right on top of the dang thing. And it just... I thought at first it was because I'm used to playing without a crosshair, so, you know, I wasn't hitting the mark quite where I should, but no, it's just something with these button panels lately. I really think it's something in the most recent update or patch or something where they're like, the collision box for highlights are super duper 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 tiny. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, we have this cool observational area. Perfect for an exploration ship. I like it. Alright, so I'm guessing the main guts of any more interior is going to be down this way. We have a reactor room. Let's go check that out. Ooh, this is fancy. With all of its glass and backlighting and everything. It's really cool looking. Okay, we've got a rear view as well. Let's go down here. Ooh, fancy schmancy. So we have nuclear reactors there, which go up to other reactors through conveyors and whatnots. Cool beans. I gotta admit, I love lighting. I'm a sucker for lighting. Like this. This has some cool mood lighting. I love that kind of stuff. Like most things when it comes to the Inspiration series, I wish I was better at it personally. And a lot of times these episodes are for just as much for me as they are for everybody else. See, this work. And then it goes away! Okay, that's... increased intensity. Nope. 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 Maybe. Lights on, off. Weird. I don't get it. There's an encased gyroscope. That's a cool way to do that. Not entirely sure what purpose it serves, other than it just looks cool. Alright, cryo rooms are here. This looks like another airlock, so let's not go out that way. Can't get to the door. Alright, cryo chamber is here. Thankfully no one is, you know, it's not occupied, because otherwise I have some explaining to do. There's people in here. Jump drive. I like this whole encase everything in glass but give you a view kind of thing that this does. This is really cool. It's not particularly practical in terms of if you were doing like a survival, but it just looks really cool. It has a cool vibe. So we have the assembler and stuff here. Increase, I'm guessing these are all light panels for the most part, from what I've gathered from what little buttons I could see. We also have another viewing area here. Lots of viewing areas. I mean, it makes sense. It's an exploration vessel, so it fits, but I think it's cool. I thought it was worth noting. So we have ice storage here. Lights on and off, increase, decrease, and O2, H2. So that seems to be the general theme with these button panels, for those of you that are wondering what these are doing. For the most part, from what I've seen, it looks like their one button is always for lights on and off, and then there's increase and decrease their intensity, and then a function button for whatever the room is. I also like, I did get a lot of comments over the last few videos of like using my headlamps more to make it easier in terms of the video for people to see stuff, so it's not so dark. But I do like at least touching on what the actual ship looks like without headlamps, because then you get a better idea for what the builder was actually going for and kind of the mood light they were looking at. But admittedly, I agree, there are some ships that are just too dark, and so you can't really see what you're doing. This one's pretty good, though. This is pretty well lit. Oh, what do we got here? Depressurize. Oh, this must be a landing type or a connecting type hangar door thing. The ship can hold multiple small fighters. I forget exactly how many. But it's listed in the description. This particular blueprint version of the ship, however, did not come with said fighters. I believe there's another version on the workshop, maybe, or in the works, possibly, if it's not already up. I say that only because the title said it didn't have the ships with it, so there must be one that has them or is in the works. So this is a hangar, not a landing, docking, anything like that. This is just the hangar bay. So hangar 1. This looks like an ore detector room with a view. So that's cool. I like the hangar too. It's got a nice atmospheric lighting type thing, and I really love these maintenance grooves. That's what I call them. This is a really nice touch. I love this kind of stuff where you can dock it there, but you could walk under the ship, and even if it's not really functional in game, sometimes it would depend on the model of the fighter. But I just like the idea. It's cool. So this is where you can control the drones if your ships are drones, I suppose. Because I believe these hangars were outfitted for specific fighter drone type ships. You could probably use them for different things as long as they fit, but I believe the builder had specific blueprints in mind. So that's probably why it has the serial numbers and everything listed, or model numbers. So yeah, overall I really like the layout. It's different, but it's really cool. And I absolutely adore this bridge. This is a really, really neat layout for a bridge. I really like it. Alright, so let's see how she flies. Alright. What do we got here? We've got reactors, backup power, lots of bits and bobs, programmable blocks, timers for engagement and disengagement. Solar panels, projectors, doors, assemblers, basically all the functions that you need. And then there's pistons. I believe these are connection pistons for docking. Remote control. I'm not really sure what the remote control is for, other than for possibly for drone. Oh, autopilot. Okay, there it is. It's listed. Okay, cool. So for movement, acceleration's pretty good, and it moves fairly nice. I like it. Overall, I'm really happy with this design thing. It looks really cool, and I do love the sleek kind of angular design that the bridge and the bow have. They both have this kind of cool angle shape. I really like the exterior. I like the whole ship overall, but I really like the exterior. All right, so that's going to do it for this one. Let's move on to the last one. Alrighty, so last but not least, we have the Star Wars Acclamator assault ship. Pretty sure that's how that's supposed to be said. I don't know what else you would pronounce it as. This was not actually the original ship I was going to go with, but I loaded in a different one, and it just had a bunch of problems. I couldn't get it to stabilize and load right. It had a bunch of different, like, rotors that were clipping and stuff like that. So I ended up going with this one instead because it actually is a really cool ship. I just kind of overlooked it because there was a different one I had intended to use, but once that fell through, this was still a really good choice. I try my best to stay away from doing too many licensed ships, and what I mean by that is Halo or Guardians of the Galaxy or Star Wars or Star Trek too often. Partially because you run the risk of seeing the same thing over and over and over again. Part of it is because it's just, I give a lot more props to somebody that created it off the top of their head and it's their own design. Rather than, you know, I saw it in a movie and I recreated it. Not that this is not still a buttload of work. It's just, I'm still more blown away by somebody that does a ship, kind of like this kind of stuff, but it ends up being just something they came up with. That said, this is a really good recreation of it. I don't know about size comparison, only because, yeah, I'm pretty sure all of the ships that are supposed to be this Star Destroyer-esque type style were huge in terms of like hundreds of crew and stuff, and in the scale ratio, it's probably not to scale, but it's still a really good interpretation of it. That looks like to be a landing gear. The screenshots in the thumbnail, the thumbnail in the description is what that was supposed to come out as. Showcased that it could land on planets and stuff, so that's pretty cool. And I was having trouble. It's supposed to have, there's only one mod that it's recommended that you use, which is the Star Wars Weapon Mod Pack. But it's a cool mod pack that basically adds, or mod, not pack, it basically adds all of the, or a lot of the different weapons that are known in the Star Wars ships and stuff like that, auto turrets and so on and so forth. However, I don't know if it was just my version of the game or if it was, I guess that's the button I'm looking for. I can't find another door, so I'm going to go in this way. I think this might be the only way in. It removed a few of the turrets because I don't have that mod listed, and probably here is where they're located on these, I imagine. And the description said if that were to happen, you could use default vanilla turrets and it would work just fine. This probably would have stopped if it hit the ground. It did not hit the ground, so it went a little crazy. But I don't know if it was my game, like if I just needed to reset if something got hung up, or I don't know exactly what happened, but I could not get the game to load properly, like it wouldn't load in the world and all that kind of stuff, until I removed that mod. So I'd never had issues with it before, but apparently today it just didn't want to play nice. So it looks like we have a hangar control in here. I don't know how much of an interior this actually has. I only saw the hangar here in the description. I'm gonna leave my lights off for a second and see what the lighting's actually supposed to be like. So we have the ramp controls. That's pretty much all that's there, I guess. So that's kind of like a hangar door control system. We have cryopods with a med bay. It's very conveniently laid out. You could just jump out of cryo bay and go right down to the hangar. It's a cool idea. Let's see what goes further up. I'm guessing the bridge. Yep. So this is the main bridge area. Alright, so that's kind of cool. They have... Ooh, what goes this way? This is probably the actual airlock. I'm door challenged. I don't know. Alright, so moving forward, let's see what else we have here. So this is some kind of docking area, it looks like, because we've got the landing gears there to hold them in place for ships that fly in through the hangar, or for vehicles, ground vehicles maybe. We've got another hangar door here where you could drop things out, ships out this way, or you could come up through there. And it looks like that's pretty much all of the interior. I will give credit for using vanilla blocks and still maintaining quite a bit of authenticity for the Imperial kind of look. You know, I've talked before about these, what I call hex or octagonal hallways. That's kind of infamous of the Empire and their Imperial architecture. Now, grant you, this is technically Republic, but that's basically a fancy way of saying pre-Imperial. Considering they turned into the Empire later. So, yeah, there's not as much of an interior as I expected, but again, I think that comes back to the ratio of it not being a one-to-one in terms of size of the actual ship. Although, I will say this, I am not a Uber library person for the Star Wars verse, although I am a very big fan, so it's possible the Acclamator is a smaller assault vessel and did not actually have much of an interior, but just from the look of it, I'm pretty sure in the actual movies and stuff these were supposed to be close to Star Destroyer size. I could be wrong. So we have thrusters, landing legs, we saw those outside, have the rocket controls, the ramps, connectors, probably different, there's turbo lasers for, that's what I was thinking of, I said auto turret, but turbo lasers is what I was thinking of, that obviously aren't there because I didn't load the mod in, and it looks like that's pretty much all the, different controls. So we have basically a 6-barrel torpedo launcher out the front, very effective. Alright, so movement-wise, it actually accelerates really fast. I'm guessing it's due to all the hydrogen thrusters that this ship is using. But for its size, it actually moves surprisingly well. So that's pretty cool. The one thing it did mention, in case anyone was actually intending to load this in and use it for their own purposes, is to keep the thruster damage off. As you can see, a couple of the glowing areas come through the ship. And so, obviously, like, forward would be fine, but there's certain directions where, if you're using them, it's going to be cutting into the ship's hull. And so it can damage the blocks. So with that, we're going to wrap things up here for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.